Molweni manene na manenekazi. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Goeiemiddag, dames en heren. Welcome to the 2022 autumn graduation season of Nelson Mandela University. Over the next 12 days, we will be celebrating the success of over 7,000 graduates, including 51 doctorates, in what is only our second mask-to-mask graduation to be hosted in person on campus since the global coronavirus pandemic began over 2 years ago. This alone, ladies and gentlemen, is a reason to celebrate. However, as you will appreciate, we have to celebrate within the COVID-19 compliance protocols, which is why we are socially distanced, wearing our masks, and having limited numbers spread over 23 graduation ceremonies. Apart from adhering to the COVID-19 protocols that you've just heard, please could we request the following: that the audience please rise as the academic procession enters the hall and remain standing till after the moment of silence, and again at the end of the ceremony after the singing of the National Anthem as the academic procession leaves the hall. That you please ensure that your cell phones are either switched off or on silent for the duration of the ceremony. We do, however, encourage you to Instagram, to tweet using the hashtag MandelaGrad. And please tell your family and friends who could not be with us today that they can watch you cross the stage on our YouTube page. That you please do not leave the hall during the proceedings out of respect for all graduates and their families. That you please wear your mask throughout the ceremony. Your safety is our priority, so please comply with all the COVID-19 prevention measures. Please note that in the event of a power failure, we do have a standby generator. Please remain seated. It usually kicks in within minutes. We trust that you'll enjoy the ceremony with us, and a hearty word of congratulations to all the graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, we request that you please join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. Please be seated.
Good afternoon. By virtue of the powers vested in me as Acting Vice-Chancellor of the Nelson Mandela University, I hereby constitute this congregation for the purpose of awarding qualifications. On behalf of our Chancellor, our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Mutwa, our Chair of Council, it is indeed my great honor and privilege to welcome you all to this joyous and memorable occasion during our 2022 autumn graduation ceremonies at Nelson Mandela University. I'm not only welcoming those who are physically present here this afternoon, but having learned a lot during the pandemic, this is a hybrid session, and so we have people who've joined us online via live streaming. So I wish that those who have joined us online, I wish that you also have a very pleasant ceremony and feel welcomed. In particular, I would like to welcome and acknowledge my colleagues, the Deputy Vice-Chancellors, the Executive Deans of Faculties who are sitting to my right, and particularly Professor Lloyd, who will be presiding at this ceremony, our Dean of Students, our esteemed academic colleagues who are sitting on the stage today, senior management, and our support and administrative staff. In particular, our graduandi sitting in front of me over here, and the parents, guardians, loved ones, and friends of our graduating students. I hope that you all feel welcome. In doing a short address today, I'm going to focus particularly on our graduates, because indeed, this is a truly significant day in your life. It's also a day where we've been blessed with some rain, and we hope for more, because we're in a water-scarce city. But as you know, in African tradition, rain is seen as a great blessing. And so your special day has been blessed with rain. I hope that all of you who are graduating will remember this day for the rest of your lives. On behalf of our Chancellor, the University Council, the Vice-Chancellor, Senate, and the entire university community, we are deeply proud of our graduates. You have proved your ability to succeed despite a myriad of difficulties, including the coronavirus pandemic, which disrupted learning and teaching in our physical spaces on campus, and exacerbated the socio-economic challenges we are facing in our country and indeed across the globe. I'm acutely aware that many of you have had a very different academic journey to what you would have imagined when you started off. It's been complex and at times quite difficult. And yet, here you are today, strong, undaunted, resilient. I trust that your success with your studies at Nelson Mandela University serves as a beacon of light for a bright future. Now, despite all the difficulties and challenges, during our autumn graduation ceremonies, 7,041 students in total will receive their qualifications. Of these, 84% are undergrad qualifications in the form of certificates, diplomas, and bachelor's degrees, and 16% are postgraduate diplomas and degrees, which includes 197 master's and 49 doctoral qualifications. Now, what you don't know in what I've just said is that, in fact, this year we are graduating more students than we did last year. And in both 2020 and 2021, which were those difficult years for us in the thick of the pandemic, we actually graduated more students in each of those years than we did in 2019, when times now, as we know it, were a lot easier. So we've done very, very well, and we are very proud, therefore, of our students for stepping up to the plate and focusing on your studies. Thinking back to 2 years ago, in March and April 2020, we really had no idea how deeply the coronavirus pandemic would affect and change every aspect of our lives. Sadly, how many lives we would lose, and how long the virus would endure, and indeed continues to endure, with hints of the fifth wave not being far off. We were probably quite naive when we started planning how we were going to tackle completing the 2020 and then the 2021 academic year, but especially the 2021. We thought we'd be off for about 6 weeks and then we'd be back on campus and everything would be normal. Well, it didn't turn out like that, did it? We had 2 hashtags that drove our response to the coronavirus. The first one, and it was the number one priority, was hashtag Save Lives, which is why in our response we were always thinking about whether we were putting students and staff in any form of danger if we had contact sessions, for example. Even now, it's probably one of the reasons why we have 26 graduation ceremonies in this autumn, because we need to make sure we still abide by all the different regulations to keep you safe. But our second hashtag was hashtag Complete the Academic Year. And as I now think back to just how quickly students and staff adapted to online learning and research, and also learning and working from home, which was a blessing and a curse. Students told me they had to do chores at home and fit their studies in between their chores. Sometimes younger siblings that were trying to do some schooling that you needed to help. Our academic and our administrative and support staff also had those challenges of having to look after their children and do all their work. My challenge was my dog loves Zoom, and so he would participate in meetings, especially if he felt they were a little bit too long. So it wasn't easy, was it? We were also remotely connected with each other, and we had students and staff not only around the country, but around the world. But you triumphed, and for this I salute you. For the past 2 years, we have thus shown how adaptable and resilient we can be in our response to whatever comes our way. And when I use the word we, I mean both our graduates and students, our lecturers, our support staff, but also the university as a whole has had to learn to be adaptable and resilient. As I sat reflecting on the 2020 and the 2021 years, I was deeply touched by just how many challenges came our way and how each time we rose to them. For example, we finished the 2020 academic year and completed the whole 2021 academic year in one calendar year last year, with most of that learning being online. But that's a remarkable achievement. We actually have forgotten how remarkable what we've been doing is. We kind of have got used to it. But can you imagine finishing 2 academic years in 12 months? You were, I'm sure, exhausted by the end of the year, and I know all of us on the stage were exhausted. But we did it. We also had to learn how to adapt our venues to fit the right number of students in. We had to think through things like, how do we get students to sanitize the spaces where they sit, for example? Our timetabling system had to have a radical rethink, and when we came to doing master-mask activities in terms of tests and so on, we had to set up all sorts of new procedures. Even the online tests and exams required new procedures. Again, we forget how remarkable what we've done actually is. We also battled through various coronavirus waves, learned how to quarantine classes and residences, which is something we'd never thought of before. And we had to constantly adapt our time frames and academic activities as we toggled between the various lockdown levels and therefore how much online learning and how much mask learning on campus was possible. But it wasn't only the virus that we had to contend with. We also had to contend with other things like load shedding, which of course we are currently still contending with. And towards the end of the fourth term in last year, as many of you know, Summerstrand and the surrounding suburbs was hit by a 5-day power outage. At a crucial moment when we were wrapping up a term and a semester, suddenly online learning and assessment became a major challenge. Students were in every nook and cranny on campuses. Wherever there was a generator in a building, people were charging phones and laptops. Sourcing enough food was a challenge because fridges weren't working, and so on. I can continue. At the same time, or just a little while later on the George campus, we had a major flood in George itself, and part of the road to the campus washed away, which still remains a challenge for us at the moment. But through all these different things that have happened, we have remained agile and adjusted as we've gone. We adjusted a few of the end of module assessments and examination dates last year, but we still finished the year as planned. Again, remarkable. The other remarkable thing about the learning and teaching work done in our faculties by our academics and our students is that our success rates in 2020 and 2021 were 5 percentage points higher than in 2019. We would have expected the success rates would have been lower because of the way we all struggled to adapt to new ways of learning. But actually they increased and are now way above the benchmark that has been set for the university sector. What an extraordinary achievement in this pandemic time. But we're also a student-centric university, and as such, we are concerned about the holistic development of our students. So it is not only that our students achieved academic success in the last 2-3 years, but they also continued to grow as individuals. We did some surveys and also chatted to various groups of students, and here's a few things they told me. Even though they found learning to be very hard and challenging, they personally grew tremendously. I'm sure as you think back of your journey, you're a different person now to the one that started this journey. Some of the things that students say they learned and which enabled them to grow was how to pace themselves and their work, how to set goals. In the pre-COVID times, we just followed your lecture timetable, arrived at a lecture, listened to what the lecturer was saying, had your cell phone maybe under the desk so that you could just check out what was happening on social media. But you didn't have to do that much planning for yourself because it was kind of planned. But now with the online learning, you had to figure out for yourself how you were going to navigate your way. And the interesting thing is, different students found different routes through it. Some students stuck to their timetable, other students went module by module. The lecturers were very, very worried at some points because they said these students just aren't connecting, they're not coming to the team sessions live. But they did see that students were actually watching the recordings of those sessions. And when I spoke to students about it, they said, look, this is the way we've planned it, and if it's 12 o'clock at night when I'm busy with that module, then I'm going to watch that video then. I'm not going to watch it because the lecture happens to be at 10 o'clock in the morning. So we kind of must apologize to our students. You knew, you figured it out. We weren't sure, but we now know you figured it out. And that's a great learning that you'll take with you into life to figure out how to learn and when to learn. Students also say they became more flexible. They learned to use technology more for learning purposes, not just for social purposes. And in those really tough moments when things were really overwhelming, because students hung in there, they became more resilient. And as a result, students have developed a lot more confidence in being able to cope with the challenges that come their way. So you rose as students and now graduates to all these challenges. And so here you are today graduating. And I wonder if the congregation will just join me to applaud you as we pay tribute to you, our students, for rising to the challenge. But we also need to pay tribute and applaud our academic and support staff for their hard work, their commitment, their adaptability. I know students had most of their data in the early part of the pandemic in the night, but I can tell you if I was online at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, I would meet many academics there. Academics were saying, if my students are online that time, that's when I need to be around to be engaging with them, for example. So our academics have shown extreme commitment and adaptability to suddenly teach very differently and to keep the academic project going in completely different ways. So please join me as we applaud them and our support staff for the role they played. We also know that your journey into graduation has been made possible through the support, encouragement, care and generosity of your family and friends, communities and loved ones. I salute all of you who've joined us this afternoon to join in this graduation ceremony for the role that you have played in assisting and enabling our graduates to reach this remarkable milestone in their life journey. So graduates, let's applaud all of those that have supported you. Universities serve as powerful engines for building the kind of socially just, democratic societies we wish to live in. That is why at Nelson Mandela University, we pursue the philosophy of a humanizing pedagogy. Our approach is informed by the liberatory educational philosophy of Paulo Freire. One of the arguments he puts forward was that in order to achieve humanization, which presupposes the elimination of dehumanizing oppression, it is absolutely necessary to surmount the limit situations in which people are reduced to things. So we seek to recognize and explore what it means to be human, honoring and respecting everyone's humanity and unique background, and developing consciousness and agency in relation to social justice. So that was why, as academics, we agonized a lot about how to make the online space more human, how to build connections with students when there was a barrier of the screen between us. It's also the reason why we've allowed a lot of flexibility, and certainly in 2020, we had students on different pathways as they were able to get a device and start learning. One lecturer told me that she had students on 13 different pathways. We'd initially only planned 2. But that was part of our commitment to social justice, to be able to give all students the opportunity to finish the year. In our quest of living up to our motto of changing the world, we continue to seek various ways in which higher education institutions such as ours can be a force for good. I am confident that we have succeeded in shaping you, our graduates, into socially conscious, compassionate, responsible, ethical professionals, leaders, and citizens. We hope further that through your diverse encounters and experiences here at Mandela Uni, you are now prepared for life and for the world of work. And so as I move to conclude, as you cross the stage today, graduates, please reflect on how far you have come since you started your studies. You'll be pleasantly surprised at just how much you've developed. And then make a personal commitment as Nelson Mandela University graduates to give back to society by applying your knowledge in ways that contribute to a more sustainable, prosperous, just, and peaceful future for all. As the new generation of transformative leaders and change agents, you have the responsibility to pave new paths and to reshape responses to the grand political, economic, and environmental global challenges that we face in our times. In the words of Nelson Mandela, sometimes it falls on a generation to be great. You can be that generation. Let your greatness blossom. And so you have successfully completed this chapter in your life at Nelson Mandela University. As you start the next chapter of your journey, we wish you every success and happiness, and there's some nice rain coming to put a punctuation on that. But we also wish that you continue to learn and grow so that, in fact, your greatness does blossom and that you become the great generation that changes the world. Thank you.
Hey!
What a fantastic choir. Let's give them a hand. And now what our graduates have all been waiting for. We shall now proceed, honoured guests, with the awarding of qualifications, and I now request the candidates to take up their positions. I now request the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Business and Economic Sciences, Professor Hendrik Lloyd, to present the candidates for their respective qualifications.
Madam Acting Vice-Chancellor, I request you to award the advanced diplomas and confer the bachelor's degrees on the candidates who have completed their respective qualifications during the past academic year, whereafter I shall present to you the candidates receiving their qualifications in presentia.
I award the advanced diplomas and confer the bachelor's degrees as requested.
Madam Vice-Chancellor, a candidate for the Higher Certificate in Business Studies, Sandisiwe Ntame. Madam Vice-Chancellor, a candidate for the Diploma in Management, Asanda Tebekana. Madam Acting Vice-Chancellor, candidates for the Advanced Diploma in Business Studies, Lorusho Atimulan. Siamtana Bashman. Vela Batala. Odwa Bazi. Akono Betsa. Sintli Bedieni. Gqeberha. Solomon Biko. Entle Blaki. Joliswa Blau. Annalisa Boma. Olicia Bueta. Wait. Sianda Tapsana. Kaylee Chamberlain. Sipesetu Dambuza. Sinead Dammons. Nirendran Tanara. Kutulo Dato. Ronaldo Dengue. Luntredu Tlala. Gqeberha Lambula. Jared Duplessis. Andile Dubeni. Lauren Erasmus. Michelle Fourie. Prince Casella. Masikole George. Sepelele Gida. Tunyelwe Godongwana. Hilda Gomomo. Katie Gordon. Ruan Govender. Keanu Grootboom. Kuleku Klekwa. Kanlise Hanisi. Amanda Hanti. Edwina Hendricks. Nonteba Hobe. Nandi Hoffman. Abulelo Yafta. Panele Jinki. Sisa Jungula. Patukoze Jwili. Sawo Kanana. Samkele Kipile. Nolotando Carlo. Pelokazi Umbisa. Chennai Kramer. Nomkita Kraya. Abiso Pawana. Solewa Peseba. Puyukazi Upuana. Nozuku Mabandla. Nongamzo Mabusela. Beliswe Marenguane. Sinazo Mblodlo. Yanga Mgadla. Kama Magapeni. Asvela Loliwe. Sisipu Maguga. Sipisetu Makana. Moko Malafane. McBride Malchas. Sinasipu Malusi. Sipukazi Mangete. Sikoni Mani. Yonela Mapaza. Cheslin Marlowe. Mark Monable. Nomonde Mahuere. Akona Matakane. Look at the camera. Uyakazi Masaja. Tulise Matye. Zaliseko Mayakiso. Tekese Mayindi. Mislai Mugnoli. Akona Moyonga. Neliswa Ambali. Awasibu Mbambo. Sinutpolo Mbambo. Naledi Mbanga. Sinasipu Mbele. Si Pasisli Mbengashe. Anelia Bimbi. Naki Mdluli. Sinasibe Mdodana. Sisanda Mdodu. Spamandla Mzozi. Masikolo Memeza. Yonalani Mandela. Akona Abane. Angela Mentor. Sineveu Mukogo. Gloria Mgonya. Amtana Mguntua. Si Basle Maga. Si Babalwe Mkwenkwe. Patandwa Mkiva. Nzololelo Mkuzwangwe. Loletu Mnyamana. Sipusetu Momo. Siklewa Moya. Aquila Moikwa. Kuilwetu Mpatla. Lito Mpongoma. Nentli Nkambeli. Olwetu Mkalu. Sibabalo Mzabezi. Tobeka Mzingya. Nande Mtakhaha. Telelani Mkundeleli. Tandi Mvumbu. Sipasesli Nkani. Nokutulo Ndlula. Sibulelo Ndumo. Azibabala Nzulaza. Akona Nkuya Djibouti. Mandisa Gema. Sandiswa Nkameni. Nosipewe Nkunge. Pondela Nkokazi. Sevenati Njili. Ongweza Njoli. Angeline Kau. Linda Nkomaleni. Damkele Mkume. Bulalani Nokele. Yonele Nomvende. Nomvele Nonjabe. Apeve Ntloko. Viva Antontela. Ayabongo Ntuzikazi. Zandile Pali. Shanae Petzer. Annalisa Pacati. Kirsty Piet. Oops. Sipusetu Pil. Melikaya Plaatje. Annalisa Rabi. Utando Gqeberha. Sinutolo Same. Bevan Skeepers. Perpetua Sogiwa. Molotolo Siko. Sobobawa Sigunu. Zenziba Sitole. Tombotolo Skosana. Sianda Sokaga. Isikanya Sukoni. Kim Somniso. Simasa Swakile. Sipo Isisle Tenge. Notusho Tembo. Sipusetu Chetwa. Tandukazi Tiso. Kulelwe Tole. Inganati Toto. Anasiputsana. Polani Tiana. Palesa Tsisane. Sumila Gqeberha. Levive Valley. Nomakova Vuba. Sinazawana. Novatembu Williams. Asseblief wat klaar lê. Mampu Kaluba. Siamtanda Yose. Olonso diso Yumata. Lisu Zansi. Nozoku Zenchwa Sambokwe. Kanyisa Sibaya. Azipe Zisile. Kanya Zondeka. Madam Acting Vice-Chancellor, the diploma is awarded cum laude to the following candidates. Khalud Abu El Hussein. Cum laude. Venetia Boysen, cum laude. Jasmine Dupria, cum laude. Aiden Ellsworthy, cum laude. Storm Erasmus, cum laude. Hanley Lindveld, cum laude. Sintley Mafanya, cum laude. Sulaiman Mohammed, cum laude. Chetan Ramji, cum laude. Kueni Shahida, cum laude. Madam Acting Vice-Chancellor, candidates for the degree Bachelor of Commerce, Tyrell Atkins. Jordan Daniels. Bradley Duplessis. Rosichwa Maputupi. Vimbai Matanda. Jason Mkasa. Hassan Nasir. Philip Sibanda. Blessings Sinamane. Tsitso Tamaye. Madam Acting Vice-Chancellor, this concludes the awarding of advanced diplomas and conferring degrees in the Faculty of Business Economic Sciences.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll just wait for our graduates to all be back in the room, and then we'll conclude. In the meanwhile, we'll play some music. So ladies and gentlemen, as graduates, as we start moving to conclude, Just a reminder that we all need to keep our masks on. We are indoors, and I know with all the celebrations, a couple of them have slipped. So if we'll just all put them back on, please, when you get outside, that's when your masks can go off. Thanks for that. So as we draw this graduation to its close, on behalf of the congregation, I wish to thank our graduates, parents and other guests for their interest in the university and for their presence at this graduation ceremony. I also wish to thank our academic and administrative staff, as well as the performers, for their respective contributions today. Will you please give, particularly our administrative staff who've made all these arrangements, a loud round of applause. And now I'd like all our graduates to please stand up. When I spoke to you earlier on, you weren't yet graduates, but you've now walked the stage and you have those certificates in your hand. At Nelson Mandela University, we strive to change the world. 2020 and 2021 brought this, our rallying call, into sharp focus as the world changed rapidly around us. As graduates, you have risen to all of that has come your way. You have demonstrated that with commitment, courage and determination, success is possible. As I congratulate you on your achievement and tell you that you've made us all very proud, I also want to send you on your way and wish you well for the journey ahead, to wherever the next phase of your life path takes you. I trust that you will retain an identity that clearly defines you as a graduate of Nelson Mandela University. And we are now all going to applaud our graduates one last time as we not only congratulate them but send them on their way. Please join me. By virtue of the powers vested in me as acting Vice-Chancellor of the University, I now declare this congregation dissolved. I request the congregation to stand and to join in the singing of the National Anthem and to remain standing while the academic procession leaves the hall. Thank you.
Nkosi sikeleli Afrika, maluphakanyisa uphondo lwayo, izwa imithandazo yethu. Nkosi sikelela thina lusapho lwayo, murena buluka setshaba saheso, ufedise tintwali matshwenyeho, sibuluke sibuluke sitshaba sa Yesu, sitshaba sa South Africa, South Africa. 80 blow van ons hemel, 80 diepte van ons hemel. Oor ons weggebegtes, vaart die kranse antwoord gee. Sounds the call to come together and unite. united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our land.
Okay, good day. Can I have your attention, please? I just want to make an announcement about your studio photographs at the back squash courts. We take credit cards and cash. You can use these doors to access there. They will be printed immediately. Thank you.
Yeah.